In this video, we'll take a look at different HVAC systems that were utilized in the previous video in Energy Simulator, and just how a model would look over here in EcoSim Building Designer. Now, these things have all been modeled ahead of time utilizing these mechanical tools. So air terminals, ductwork, air handling units, all that equipment has been modeled here ahead of time in EcoSim Building Designer. There's other videos for modeling HVAC systems in EcoSim Building Designer. I will maximize view 1. Use my Control-Shift right-click to change the display style, and I'll just pan it over here to the right side of my screen. Now, these different systems are reference attachments in there, and they're part of that live nesting reference capability that we've talked about in other videos. We'll open our references dialog box here, and when we have this show hierarchy button on, we see our nested attachments over here. If I expand the active file, remember the grayed out one indicates to me that the display is turned off over here. I'm going to collapse my columns down a little bit here just to we can keep an eye on the model out here. So if I expand this gym, I see several attachments there. And remember, if we click on that file, then I see that those nested attachments. One of those nested attachments is this gym HVAC DGN file. Now, the display has been off. If I expand that one, you'll see, well, there's another level of attachments there. So I'll go ahead and turn the display on of the gym.hvac, and I see a unit show up here. And if I go ahead and drill down into that file, here's the different options that we've got here, the different models inside this gym.hvac.dgn file. The description here matches what's over in Energy Simulator, so helps a little bit on this example. So really, it's a matter of turning reference displays off and on. Right now, the one I have on is this PTAC AC electric heat. PTAC is a package terminal air conditioning unit. This particular one is using electric heat. If you look at the description, though, we see it's air-cooled with direct air. So what we can see in the model out here is this is the direct air terminal up here. But also notice that there are these PTAC units along the walls. If I zoom out and move around here, I'm just using my mouse, my wheel, zooming in and out. And when you hold the wheel down, you can pan there. But there you can see, I'll rotate my view around some. And maybe even come over here and turn the walls off temporarily. So here's my level A wall. Here's one for a wall full. Here's these package terminal air conditioners. And just see, well, I've got the walls turned off there. You can see how there's different ones. There's several over here in the gymnasium. So let's go ahead and turn those walls back on, turn those levels back on. And as I click through, I'll just turn the display on. This is the PTAC AC with hot water heat. The hot water system requires hot water to all of the terminal units, and so we've got this extra building out here. And again, let's turn the display of the level of these walls off. And we'll just leave those off while we're looking at it here. So here you can see there's some pump equipment, water boiler, things like that. And those would be connected to those PTAC terminal units for the hot water heat instead of electric heat. So if we just look through the rest of these, this has some units on the rooftop here. We see on the roof of the gym here, but notice that this is for roof option 1. So we've got those different roof options in the architectural model. So we've got different models for the HVAC system. So if I just turn the display of these off and on, we'll get to the one that is that slanted roof. And there we can see it right there. Now, if you want to get a better look at these, let's take a look at this last one here, which is the water source heat pump. Again, that has a separate building and some separate equipment out here. The water source heat pump would utilize like a river or a lake or something along those lines for the water source. I'll go back and just turn the display of the architecture off over here. So back to the top level, actually to the gem.dgn. And let's see, we got our civil site and then our building here. So let's turn that off. And then our roof option. And then as we turn these HVAC options on, then you see those systems out here. So again, this one has some direct air, so it's got some ductwork and some air terminals going down into the administration building. PTACs over here in the gymnasium. This basically is the same layout, except for it's using hot water heat instead of electric heat. And then we've got this one. It's got a lot more ductwork because this one is PTHP, which is a package terminal air conditioning unit with heat pump. And then basically the bottom, you'll notice, stays the same on this, but we've just got our different options for the roof configuration over here. So as I turn the display off and on, you see the different configurations over here. And finally, the last one is this water source heat pump. Again, has extra equipment, this extra little mechanical building over here. There's actually a furnitures, fixtures, and equipment file attached here, which just is interesting if you want to take a look at that. Look at the levels for that file. You can see a lot of the equipment and furniture and things like that. So different nested files over here. Turn that one back off. So once again, if you're doing your solar studies, you may want to turn on the HVAC. So you'll see at least the rooftop units. You'll see the extra building and those certain configurations. So that this green indicates to me that's part of the fresh air system. If we take a look at these other ones, this light blue color is supply air and the red is return air. We'll get this back to showing the building. Let's get a roof option on the gymnasium over here. Remember, I turned those walls off. Let's see, we had it on, let's go with roof option 3. So over here for the HVAC options, I'll turn on the option 3 to go along with the roof configuration there. And turn those levels back on for the wall. So there's how that would look with the rooftop units for that particular HVAC configuration.